Welcome back. It's been a dramatic trial with a suspect who has surprised South Africans with her expressions and often nonchalant attitude at first. Former cop Nomia Ndlovu has been found guilty on 6 counts of murder. She orchestrated the killing of her boyfriend and 5 other relatives to cash in on insurance policies. Slindelo Masikane following the story for us. She joins us now live in studio. So there's so much to be said about what we heard in court today. It was a long time in court, actually.
Oh, yeah.
What are the highlights?
You know, it's been 4 months of a trial, and after 4 hours and 20 minutes, I was counting, Shahan, of the judgment. Nomia finally learnt her fate today in the Palm Ridge High Court, where Judge Monama really went into detail, highlighting all of the facts of the case, summarizing all the testimonies from over 50 witnesses from the states. And you would understand that he said that he had to actually go into this much detail because he was basing his judgment on circumstantial evidence as well as similar facts. And I think for the state to have been able to get the verdict that they did today on those facts alone speaks to the volume of evidence against her. You know, the pattern in which the judge went through, saying that, you know, it's quite interesting that Nomia was either the first one at the crime scene of the deceased, or the last one to have been seen alive with the deceased. Also describing this case as one that has gripped South Africans for the longest time, saying that the country has never seen anything like this in 89 years. And so the judgment today really a win for the state as well as the families involved. Let's take a listen.
Accused is found guilty on count 1, that's murder of Madala Homo. Count 2, that is murder of Nomia Ndlovu, or 3. Count 7, Yingwani Morris Mabasa. Count 9, Zanele Mota. Count 10, the death of Mayeni Mashaba or Willie Mota. Count 12, Brilliant Mashiro.
All right, I'll get to what the NPA said in a moment, right? Because I was looking at the visuals there. She was basically looking down when this judgment was being handed down. Her expressions is something that people have obviously caught on to in South Africa. In fact, there's many memes of her as well. What was her reaction apart from what we saw now?
Her demeanor really quite different to what we've seen over the past couple of days, especially in terms of the beginning of the trial. You know, once the media caught wind of the trial and what was happening with this case, you know, it seemed as though she was really happy to, you know, react for the cameras, interact with journalists, you know, posing sometimes for the cameras. But over the past couple of weeks, in terms of the wrapping up of the trial, in terms of the closing arguments last week in court, her demeanor has really changed. It's almost like it hit her that, no, this is actually a reality now. You know, I might actually be going to jail for the rest of my life. Very subdued, keeping her head down, not making eye contact. Even when you try to engage with her, she's not as willing anymore. So you can definitely see a change in character.
So what's the NPA saying then?
Obviously, quite happy with the judgment, saying it's really quite, it's a good nod for justice that the state prosecutor was able to prove this case, to show the court and the judge that Nomia Ndlovu, despite no direct evidence, was surely linked to all of the murders. And as we go to sentencing, of course, they're saying that they want the maximum sentence for her. Let's take a listen.
In terms of the law, the ordained sentence is life imprisonment. So from here, we're moving to the stage where we need to bring up arguments in aggravation of sentence, and the defense as well has to bring the arguments in mitigation of sentence. And if there are any substantial or compelling circumstances that warrants a deviation, the court may do so. But as the NPA, obviously, we will be arguing for a sentence of life imprisonment.
So obviously more detail will go into sentencing arguments. That's also going to play out now.
Yes, so we're looking forward now to the 5th of November, where the state will try and prove why she should get the maximum sentences, and her defense will also try and mitigate her sentencing. I think what's also interesting, what came out of today, was the judge actually applauding not only the state prosecutor, the IO, but the defense as well, saying that he didn't give up. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how those proceedings play out.
All right. Thanks so much for the update. Appreciate it. Slindelo Masikane.